You know what time it is? Woo! Get into it! Get into it! Yes! I don't know why I had that delay. I think I was in a little bit of shock because I was surprised I caught the book. Hi! We're back with Storytime with Chris. Like I always say, you don't have to watch these videos when they go live. You're more than welcome to watch them. In your downtime, nap time, max relax and chillaxing time, in between time, mean time, scheme time, study time, break time, work time, in between time, CP time, any time that you want to hear a highly animated voice bring you wonderful stories of magic, science fiction, adventure, fantasy, and many, many more in between. Hi, I'm Chris. I'm gonna keep doing it. If you know, you know. For my 90s kids and for my 90s kids that grew up listening to episodes of Adventures in Odyssey or watching the animated series or listening to any of those Focus on the Family programs, shout out to that group. No, I'm not being paid to say that. But I always remember the narrator and announcer for those. Hi, I'm Chris. Welcome to another adventure with Adventures in Odyssey. Like, her voice is... low-key is what inspired me. Like, very small, but like one of the many, many reasons as to why I did this. Like, I have other incredible authors and narrators and radio personalities that have inspired me to do this, but Chris is one of them from Adventures in Odyssey. And I don't even think she's an actual character on the show. She's more so our overhanging narrator to try to explain like what the previous episode was, what's the current plot now, and the lives of the distinctive characters of Odyssey. And I remember I think I talked about this in my last video. It was Mr. John Avery Whitaker, who is the owner of Wits End, Eugene Meltzner, who is a genius and the creator of the Imagination Station and also the scientist in tech for Wits End, Connie Kendall, who is one of the main characters who works at Wits End and ends up... Actually, I'm not going to say that because that's a bit of a spoiler, so I'm not going to say that. But there's a lot of great characters on that show. A lot of hilarious stories and some good life lessons to learn on that show. Even if you are not a Christian, it's still just a fun program for families and kids to enjoy. If you like a good drama, a good comedy, Adventures in Odyssey, go check it out. And they're still making episodes. So yeah, go check it out. We didn't come here to talk about that. We came to listen to a story, and we are back after Voyaging Moon being the incredible woman that she is. Not only was she able to secure room and board for herself, not only was she able to secure her own money and profits, even after she was cheated out of it by her previous employer, who was very greedy. She was able to get into a very profitable theater troupe, and now is the... what did they call her? Lady Shadow Behind a Screen. That's her stage name. But we're going to see what happened to Jen and Mosha and Mafu and Master Fu. So, Master Shu, excuse me. Chapter 16. What is fished out of the water? What is told to Jen? What is to be decided? He lay on a pile of straw. Sunlight streamed through a narrow doorway. A gray-haired woman bent over him. A man's weathered face peered down. Where are they? Jen tried to sit up. He was in the corner of a hut. Nets hung from the low ceiling. His head pounded as if the storm filled it. He could scarcely bring his eyes to focus. We're safe, the woman smiled. I'll fetch them. Fished out a log with you, the man added. Wet, but undamaged. Jen gave a joyous cry. His last memory was the face of Voyaging Moon, her hands outstretched, struggling in the tide. The storm was over. They had lived through it. The woman was back. She held out a bundle. See, we kept your goods carefully. No, Jen burst out. Not these, my friends. No others, the fisherman said. You were alone. More than half drowned and with a broken head, too. They must be nearby. Watched ashore with me. The hut spun before Jen's eyes. We were all together. Crossed the river yesterday. The boat floundered. The fisherman and his wife exchanged glances. The woman spoke gently. The storm passed a week and more ago. You've lain here since then. We feared you'd never come back to your senses. Rest. Take food now. A week? Jen stared around wildly. Where is this? We crossed above Chenye. Chenye? The fisherman raised his eyebrows. "You're leagues from there. The river carried you far downstream. Be glad you're alive." "My friends are alive too. They must be." The fisherman was about to speak. His wife gestured to him. "Let him believe so, if that will help him," she murmured. "I'll find them." Jin lurched to his feet. His legs buckled under him. He fell back onto the straw. He had heard the woman's words. "Yes, they are alive," she said. "I believe it. I know it." He wondered if he was telling himself the truth. 2 days passed before Jin could stand unaided, and another day before he could walk. Even then, he was lightheaded, his steps uncertain. The fisherman and his wife urged him to wait until he had his full strength again. "Young man," the fisherman said, "who are you and what your business may be is no affair of ours. You don't strike me as a murderer or a thief. If you've run afoul of the law in some way, there's plenty like you in the kingdom, for His Majesty's officials deal out more injustice than otherwise. No matter. You stay with us if you want, as long as you want." I don't know why I made him into Pa Kent, a.k.a. Superman's dad, but it works for me. It works. Only then did Jin realize the couple had never asked his name, but tended him nonetheless. "I've not run afoul of any laws," he said. "I'm seeking to learn better ones." "So I hope you do," the fisherman said, questioning him no further. When Jin thanked the couple, telling them he must seek his friends, the fisherman and his wife shared what food they could spare to help him on his journey. Taking grateful leave of them, Jin set off, following the river upstream. He thought to find the ferryman's hut. If the man had lived out the storm, he might know something of Voyaging Moon, Mafu, Mosha, and Master Shu. Meantime, trudging along the Lo, he questioned all who lived near the riverbank. They treated him kindly and gave food when his supply ran out and let him sleep under their roofs at night, but they could tell him nothing. Despite that, his hope did not lessen, for there were times when he lay restless and wakeful, half in a dream. It seemed that the voice of Voyaging Moon called out to him. He even imagined hearing the shivering notes of the flute. This, he knew, was only a memory that both saddened and lifted his heart. He came in sight of Chenye by week's end. He did not skirt the town as he had planned. Rather, he found his steps drawn to crooked streets of dwellings and shops, hawkers of rags, of sweetmeats, of fighting crickets. A seller of birds with bamboo cages stacked high beside him cried his wares. "Bye-bye, all sweet singers, sweet as the flute girl's melodies." Jen stopped short. He had heard correctly. His ears had not deceived him. He ran to the bird seller. "What flute girl? What melodies?" The man blinked at him. "You're a stranger in Chunye? That's easy to guess. Flute girl? We've all heard and won't forget her. She used to play at the Golden Grasshopper, the inn of Master Hong." "Where?" Jin's heart raced. The bird seller pointed up the street. "A stranger for sure if you don't know the Golden Grasshopper. There to the right, past Phoenix Lane." Jin set off running where the bird seller had indicated. In the courtyard of the inn, a man with the look of the proprietor was berating a servant maid for laziness. Jin strode up to him. "A girl who played the flute. She was here. I was told so. Where is she now?" "What's that to you?" Hong looked him up and down. "Get out! I don't lodge beggars." Jin took Hong by the shirt collar. "What it is to me," he said between his teeth, "is this. I asked you a question. I'll have an answer." Hong choked. His eyes bulged as he tried to shake free of Jin's grip. "Madman, hands off! I'll call the law on you. All right, let go!" he gasped. "She's gone, long gone." Jin set the innkeeper down hard on his heels, puffing and scowling. Hong rubbed his neck. "Lunatic devil," he muttered. He cocked an eye at Jin. "Yes. She was here and she left. Good riddance to her." "Her name?" "How should I know? She worked in my kitchen. I don't concern myself with scullery maids. Peasant girl for the look of her." He quickly added, backing away as Jen stepped closer. "Yes, she played the flute a few times. I paid her well for it, the ungrateful wench." "Then?" "Gone, I told you," Hong flung at him. "What a devil are you? What do you care?" "Aha, your little sweetheart, eh?" A look of sly malice crept into the innkeeper's eyes. "So that's your interest, is it? Well, my handsome fellow, I can tell you a little something else about her." "Oh, she's gone, yes," Hong added. He grinned at Jen. "But not alone, if you take my meaning." "What are you saying?" Jen demanded. "Who was with her?" "Not a wretch like you," Hong said. "I'm a tender-hearted man. I wanted to spare your feelings, but why should I? She had eyes for one of my guests with more in his purse than you have. The pair of them ran off together, and there you have it, the way of the world." Hong gave Jen a scornful glance, turned on his heel, and hurried away, leaving Jen staring after him. By the time Jen found words, Hong had disappeared. Jen stood head reeling as if he had been struck in the face. He started after the innkeeper. As he did, one of the grooms loitering close by beckoned to him. Still trying to swallow what Hong had said, Jen stepped toward the man. "Too bad you didn't choke that son of a turtle," the groom said under his breath. "I saw it all. Listen to me, lad. Hong's a liar as well as a cheat. The girl was here a while, true. How did she leave? I was in an empty stall that night. There was scuffling that woke me up. I saw Hong and one of his lodgers, the girl bound and gagged between them. A merchant of some sort. I don't know his name. They packed her into his carriage and drove off as fast as he could. Later, I heard the merchant went south to Chai Sang. That's all I can tell. For what good it may do you." It's good to have a good Samaritan in your life. Jen blurted his thanks and ran from the courtyard. Voyaging Moon lived. Nothing else mattered. He would search and find her at all cost. He halted. To break off his journey now, having come so far, Chai Sang lay in the opposite direction. What if he could not find her? How long would he dare to delay? What of Mafu and Mosha? Too many questions. He could not gather his wits to think clearly. Then he remembered Master Hugh's long lecturing on royal virtues. The old sage would have advised him to press on to Tianquo. To do otherwise, Jen could see Master Hugh's frown of disapproval. A prince worthy of his title would not even consider forsaking his duty. Yes, that is true, Jen admitted. That it is... As it is true, I am a prince no longer. He turned south toward Chai Sang. An ignoble, unworthy decision, yet how could we not forgive a loving heart? Before judging Jen too harshly, continue to the next chapter. And that is where we will end for today. I thank you all so very much for listening. And as always, thank you for joining me for Storytime with Chris. I will see you all next time. Bye, lovelies. Have a lovely day.